Hi, my name is Mark Knight and I'm a filmmaker, and at the moment I am making a series of films all around how to create health and safety communications using video. And I'm doing that because I have a lot of experience creating health and safety video projects for big companies all over the UK and worldwide across a number of sectors on a number of different subject matters. And I want to share what I've learned with you, thus enabling you to create better, more effective, more engaging, more efficient health and safety communications.
Do you know what that means? Then let me teach you a lesson.
So this film is all about outlining the different stages that you go through in order to create a video for a health and safety communication. This is a process that I would go through with any client, but it's always helpful to let you know as a client what that procedure is and why you're doing all these different things. So first off, you need to set a goal for what you want to achieve. And that can be as simple as, oh, well, I need to create an induction film in order to better educate people who are visiting site for the first time, new employees or contractors. Alternatively, you could have a much bigger goal where it is a company-wide objective, where you want to lower the rate of LTIs, or you want to just create a safer culture. In which case, what you then need to do is the second stage. You need to understand where your business currently is and where you want it to be. So you have your goal, then you're setting the targets. You're setting your targets for what you want the project to achieve. What you then need to do is take stock of all the resources that you have that are related to the subject matter that you're dealing with. I'm talking about things like locations, buildings, access to personnel, access to techniques and processes, case studies of things that have happened. It could be external press stories that are related to things that will have an impact on your workforce. It could be any number of things around the subject matter that you're looking to talk about. So alongside this, you also need to be doing some research. You need to understand what other companies are doing in a similar vein to what you are trying to achieve. So that could be looking at what your competitors are doing. It could be looking at best practice from the biggest companies in your industry, or even from companies outside of your industry. A particularly good example of how this might work is if you're thinking of doing a site induction film. Site induction films are quite often quite dry affairs. They're often laden with information and they're just done as a quick tick box to make sure that anyone coming on site has the bare bones facts about what they need to know if they're visiting the site. This is very similar in style to a flight safety video.
Hi, I'm Chiwetel Ejiofor.
And have you done any safety videos before?
No, only feature films.
Well, this could be your big break, okay, mate? So don't mess it up.
So flight safety videos that play on big airlines are normally 3 to 5 minute long film that has often a celebrity or celebrities in it. And what it does is it introduces you to the safety that is on the flight. So it's often about evacuation procedure.
Opening the doors automatically inflates the evacuation slides.
Where your devices are should there be a mishap on the flight.
Masks like this will appear automatically.
It's sort of saying, welcome to the plane, this is how the plane works, these are the rules that we expect from you, which is very similar to what a site induction is. So what you should do is you should have a look around, see what people are doing, what filmmakers are doing in terms of creating videos for flight safety, and you could take some of the best bits. Undoubtedly, you're not going to be able to afford the A-list celebrities that they get in some of them, but what you can do is take the filming style or the pace or the humour or the use of graphics or music or all these different things and go, oh, that made me really enjoy that film. Why don't we try making that and incorporating that into our site induction film?
We're here to make the greatest safety film for one of the most awarded airlines in the world.
Yeah, that's probably a bit much, that, Rob, but you've got their attention.
So now what you've got is you've got your goal, you've measured where you are and set your target, you've done a account of what resources you have available, and you've also done a little bit of research to see what else is happening out there in regards to content that's similar to what you want to create. Now what you want to do is you need to find a production partner. Finding a production partner is something that we'll go into in a bit more detail in a future film. But what I would say is that if you are hiring a production partner, you need to establish what kind of relationship that you want with your production partner. Are you hiring a production partner to just do as he's told, tick this box, get it in, get it done, do it cheaply, make me a nice product and see you later? Or are you thinking that video is perhaps something that you could utilize in lots of different ways? In which case you need to not necessarily hire a supplier. What you're doing is forming a partnership. And if you're forming a partnership with a production company or a videographer or whoever you choose in order to make your film, it needs to be based on mutual respect. You are hiring them for their expertise. They are going to help you achieve your goal. So you need to work together. You need to take that into account when you're choosing someone to work with in terms of someone creating you video.
Well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
During the process of choosing your production partner, what I would suggest you do is that you ask them to provide an idea of the type of solutions that they would provide you based on you giving them all the information that you have. And that information is the goal that you have, or the resources that you have available. It's your aspirations for what you want the project to achieve. And it's the idea of stuff that you've seen and possibly want incorporated into your film. Sometimes that might not be possible. What you want might not be achievable within the parameters of your budget or the timelines. But having all this headline stuff, you've done your research, you kind of understand what you want to achieve, will help the videographer take it down and then go, right, this is what I would suggest you do. And once you've got that, you then make it, which is actually the easiest bit. It's then a question of marketing it. And this is the bit that quite a lot of people don't really pay attention to. If you look at a Hollywood blockbuster film, they'll go, oh, the budget was 175 million to make this latest Marvel thing. But what also happens is that probably the same budget is spent actually advertising and marketing that film. It's making people aware that this film exists. And you need to have that same sort of mindset when you're creating your video communications, because it's pointless making something that then just sits on the shelf and no one ever sees. And trust me, I've done many of those projects. I've worked on projects that have been tens of thousands of pounds, which you've made, you've done all this work up to this point, you make it, you hand it over, and then no bugger sees it ever. That is really disheartening. It's a massive waste of money. It's a massive waste of everybody's time. Distribution is something that you need to be aware of, because in this modern age where video is now more accessible, it's evident that video is the #1 form of communication. The fact is that you can make tons of content, but the real skill is actually getting it in front of people and getting them to engage with it. There are so many more places in which you can consume content that you need to make sure that you are targeting your audiences in all the place where they're letting their eyeballs rest. So if that is via email, or whether it's on your company intranet, or whether it's even going, we making this content, we're going to put it out globally. We're going to create a YouTube channel, which is all about our business. And safety is core to our business. So some of this content will live on there, and we will then put ourselves out there as practitioners of good health and safety practice, and anyone can view it. If you make a decent piece of health and safety content, why hide it away? Why don't you put it out there and go, look what we did in regards to health and safety. We care about our staff. And that's a good thing for your brand. That might have positive implications for your business. Knock-on effects. It might be that people who are graduates coming out of university go, I like the fact that this company looks after people and it values their safety. Therefore, the hot young graduates are going to come and work for you. I mean, this is all like long-term stuff, but it's not necessarily out of the realms of possibility. So these are things that you need to consider. Distribution is something that we'll be touching on in future films numerous times because it is so important. But for now, just to be aware of it, just to get you thinking, how would you get your health and safety video out there so that your audience will see it, so that it doesn't languish on a shelf, a digital shelf, collecting digital dust. And then once you've done that, you then need to go, how successful at engaging our audience was that health and safety communication? Because that will be the only way that you understand what you got out of it, whether it was a good investment in money, whether you have saved time, whether you have made procedures better, whether you are making people safer. All these things need to be taken into account, and they're all based on the goal that you set at the start and the measuring that you did to find out where you were before you did the project.
What you talking about, Willis?
So yeah, once you've measured what the effects of your project have been, you then need to do an evaluation, and you need to understand where it didn't work or where it did work. And if things did work really well, you need to build on those and develop those. If certain elements didn't work, you need to go back to the drawing board and maybe tinker with them a bit. You might not have hired the right person to make your film for you. Your expectations for what you wanted to achieve might have been a little bit far-fetched. You don't know until you start. But what is essential is that you need to understand that one single film isn't going to solve your health and safety issues. It cannot cover everything that it needs to cover. It cannot talk to everyone so that everyone is engaged and informed at the same level. It's literally impossible. You have to have an understanding that you're probably going to need to do some follow-up work. You're going to need to do some follow-up video communications in order to target those people who didn't engage with it first time round. Maybe change the structure of what you're making. Maybe experiment with the formats. Maybe experiment with how you distribute it. There are lots of things that you can play with. Lots of different parameters that will give you different results. That is why you need to have a video content strategy. It needs to be something that is ongoing, because health and safety communications aren't a one-shot deal. So health and safety video communications can't be a one-shot deal. They're a start of a journey, and there'll always be new stuff to talk about. As in health and safety, things are progressing really quickly over the last couple of years. Mental health, environment, all these things that are coming through that have got a lot of subject matter behind them and a lot of considerations and a lot of different considerations for a lot of different jobs and a lot of different sectors. So there's always going to be a wealth of content that you can communicate through video. What you need to do is you need to just start. And once you start, you can then go, well, then we can adapt and evolve it. And we can go, oh, maybe this will lead into that. And I can now do this and we can talk about that in this way. Because once you open up the door, keep walking through it. Keep going, because that is the way that you will develop effective and engaging strategies for using video. So yeah, that's a little whistle stop journey through all the different stages that it would take to create health and safety video communication. I hope that was valuable. If you have any questions, please stick them below in the comments box. If you liked it, give us a like. If you think someone else might find this valuable, please forward it to them. And if you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell notification, you'll get alerts every time I release new content. In the meantime, until next time, thank you very much. Stay safe. You could do the same sort of thing for your health and safety induction film for your new site. You could steal the ideas that people use in flight safety induction films and apply them to your health and safety site induction communication.